We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts, Matt Sterling and Brandon Brooks. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Matt, Brandon here. We got pretty okay weekend. A rough game down in Baltimore, a much better one back in Utica. And sounds it'll happen eventually, Brandon.
Oh, hey, I never actually unmuted my mic. I guess it's just me. His thing, the teams just decided to drop the call for whatever reason. So we'll get it sorted. All right, let me get your scene refreshed. Maybe. Can't have one without technical issues, can we?
Nope.
All right, let me make sure that there we go. Now you came back up. Now I got to get you on the right screen so that you look right. And we're back.
What the heck?
Yeah, that was a new
That wasn't
one.
even us. That was just teams. Are you good?
You're echoing. I made no changes, to be clear. Speak.
Speaky words. Talk.
If I'm the only one that can hear him twice, then I'm just gonna leave it because I think it's just something borked. But if y'all hear him twice, then we have a problem.
Are we live?
Yeah. No, we're here.
Okay. That was weird. Yeah, teams just decided that they didn't want us to have our conversation, apparently.
No, they did not. I gotta open up the stream because I can't tell if you're echoing just for me because I hear you
Or
twice.
for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if... Okay, chat says we're all good. So it might just be you.
Yay! Oh, yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, well, that's just...
I'll deal with it. Like...
look, that was fixed faster than the broadcast during Utica and San Diego, so...
Yeah,
we'll
I
consider
mean...
that a win on our part.
I'll take that, yeah.
I changed again. I don't know what you did.
I was trying to adjust your audio settings. All right. Anyway, get us back on track
All right,
here.
Soprano, first of all, how you doing, my guy?
I mean, I finally got to go to a game since last year, so that was nice. And I got assaulted. In 72. Yeah, twice. Once by you and once by a player. That was funny. We all had a good laugh.
Look, his was completely unknown, and mine is just my object permanence issues.
Yeah, just sitting there, and I don't even remember what we're talking about, and then all of a sudden just poke, poke, poke. Oh. It was because you didn't realize it was me, and because I had a paper bag over my head. That's what it was.
Is the black blending in with the black jersey?
I know.
Don't even notice that.
I mean, you can barely, like, I was trying to keep it, like, covered while I was there just to, feel normal.
Yeah, you'll be back back to swinging that arm in no time. Another
6 months
or so.
Hey, you know what? I might be able to drive soon. So
any semblance of getting back to a regular life is always a good thing.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I say after my dad's heart surgery, I think it took him like 2 or 3 months before they cleared him to drive. So
yeah,
if you can do that sooner, you're doing okay.
That's what I figure.
All right, Brandon. So we got 2 games to talk about. Plus, we got all the extracurriculars.
Yay!
And then we have certainly the upcoming back-to-backs out in Tacoma. We got to give our predictions for. So we got plenty to cover. Let's get into this. We'll start with Sunday's game down at CQ Arena. Utica goes down 4-0 to start the game. That lead swells to 10-7 at one point before Utica starts to mount a little bit of a comeback.
I mean, 10-3.
Or 10-3, yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
10-3. It was a 7-goal lead. My brain is flip-flopping anything. I'll be honest, I am very sleep-deprived and barely awake at the moment. I've not had caffeine since yesterday, and it was not enough.
I just had that new Baja Blast.
Ooh. Baja.
And yeah, no, it was not a fun game to watch. As I've told others, I'll be honest, I turned it off when they hit double digits. I was done at that point because so were they. It was just it was not a fun game to watch at all. Mm-hmm. There was definitely some sparks. Obviously, that's sparks as in sparks of like endurance of trying to persevere and they still tried, but they just went down way too much, way too quickly. And by the time they started to mount the comeback, it was way too late.
Yeah, they dug a hole they could not climb out of.
No.
And that is where we're going to start with our stat that tells the story. Brandon, it is once again Utica spotting their opponent a multi-goal lead. Nice. And you can't count on Milwaukee, second half collapses like Milwaukee had.
No.
Those aren't a regular thing. They happen a couple times a season, but you can't expect that to happen every time. And the more you go down 4-0, 5-0, the harder it's going to be to crawl out of that.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I mean, you hate to see. I hated to see it soon when we went down 4-0. I mean, especially when a couple of those were, at least one of those was our own fault. And it could have been a bigger lead because we had at least one called back. I know there was one revert. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 1 or 2, but we had a couple of goals reversed. Luckily, because we had successfully challenged, which great use of the challenge in that game, honestly. But yeah, I mean, when you go down 4-0 in just the first quarter, not only do they shut you out for 15 minutes, but they score 4. Do we get a pizza? Yeah, it's just, we came out swinging in the second, but yeah, it was like I said, it was not fun to watch. It was a tough one.
It was not.
So yours is just 7-goal lead at one point?
Yeah, I mean, just it's the 4-goal deficit. You can't.
Yeah.
Can't allow that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't have much better. I mean, it was like I said, it was just a difficult it was just a difficult game to watch. I mean, there was a positive side, which I'll get to in the next one, in the next category. There was a positive side, so, but otherwise it was downhill. You know, we got one of our keepers injured. I mean, Xavier's injured after that. And we got our butts kicked. You know, we got outplayed. It did not feel, there was times it just didn't feel like there was much hustle down there. But it is what it is. It's a tough arena to play in. I get that.
All right. Yeah, no, that is, CQ is a very, very advantageous field if you're used to playing on it.
Yep.
Has been rare over the past, I think the last that they started there in 2017. So over this past decade now, it has been rare for teams to come away with a win.
Yep. Absolutely.
Brandon, do you have a play that changed this game?
Yeah. And it's funny because it's similar to the week before when we went against San Diego. Mm-hmm. Except this time it's when our keeper came in. When Xavier got injured and Brian Wilkin came in, I think that changed kind of the course of this game to an extent. Because once he came in, we held them for basically a quarter. Because he came in early in the third, and we held them to 10 for 20 minutes, till about 6.5 minutes into the fourth. So I mean, we held them for nearly 20 minutes at 10, and allowed us to start scoring again. And also on top of that, you could see the confidence kind of come back to the guys. And I'm not discounting Xavier's abilities, Xavier's experience, you know, just him as a keeper. I'm not discounting that at all. But he is an unfamiliar keeper. You know, these guys have had Brian in the back for, you know, not only these games, but I mean, you know, a lot of these newer guys that didn't play with him when it was him and Andrew, their first experience with him was when he came in and kicked some butt with the Chihuahua game. And so they know that he is capable in the back. And so once he was back there, not only was he able to add some additional aggression because he's always willing to come out of the box and participate in the plays, whereas Xavier kind of was more of a, you know, he hung back. That really changed the pace of this game to where we actually started to mount a comeback is when he came on the field. So similar to when Pardo came on the field, you know, when Brian came on the field, it started to change the pace of the game. They actually updated his stat. He did have a 100% for that game. He did not have anything counted against him. So it was a 4-1, but then they changed it to 3-0. So
well, let's kind of keep a pin in that, because my play of the game kind of is similar. And the play was really made before the game started, and that was the decision to start Xavier Snare-Williams. I am all for giving these guys, like I told you about it yesterday.
Yep.
I told Huber about it yesterday. I am all for, on back-to-backs, splitting these guys.
Yep.
I do not like the choice to start Xavier at CQ. It's his first game action he's seen for an extended period beyond like a power play here and there. I think one in the season. And you can, I mean, things got better, but the defense we saw for the first 30 minutes of that game versus the defense we saw the second 30 were it's that Utica doesn't play a complete game usually. Thing that we've talked about.
Yep.
In the first half, he had 14 shots reach him and the net.
Yeah.
After he was injured in the third, Brian had three.
Three.
That
And
is
that
a
wasn't for lack
completely
of
different game
trying.
for the goalkeeper. Like you, I would have much preferred what Bascom did with Baltimore, and that is have your starting goalkeeper play on the smaller pinball field where they're going to face a higher volume of shots just because everything is so compact,
Mm-hmm.
and use your backup on the bigger field where things are spread out more. It's the traditional size that everyone's used to. And as we've seen over the years, Baltimore is not the same offensively on the road as they are at home.
I mean, I will say that they did technically do the exact same thing that we did with keepers. They played their best keeper at home and their secondary keeper away. I mean, that's why, we had...
Right. But they played, I'm going to say, based on field size, not
That's fair.
location.
That's fair. And yeah, I mean, absolutely, for their home field, for the, like you said, the number of shots that you're going to be taking, Julian for them is the right choice. And same thing, I think, yeah, Brian probably would have been the better choice. But imagine if we had the exact same events play out, then Brian would be injured. So things kind of have a way of working out, I suppose.
Brian almost got injured.
Yeah. He had some extracurriculars.
Navarrete was a starter with Harrisburg. He was backup with Florida. He's an experienced goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Like, he had a 750 save rate yesterday for Baltimore. Kind of getting ahead of myself here, but
yeah, what the heck, man?
That tells you so much about how much easier it is, though, when you can, because players with the wider field are taking shots at worse angles and farther out because there's more space. There's more time to react.
Right.
You're at a benefit playing a backup on the larger fields than on and this year it's only Baltimore, or the past at Chihuahua or at Soles, or I don't remember if Rochester was regulation size or if it was a little under.
That's a good question. Just because it's been a while since we got to see that field, but yeah, I can't remember if they were regulation or not, to be honest with you. I'd have to look that up or reach out, but
yeah,
not sure.
All right, we'll save our positive and negatives takeaways from this weekend.
Mine's the same for
weekend.
Yeah, mine's the same for both anyway. So,
we'll touch on the extracurriculars for this one because I think they play into the extracurriculars for the Monday game.
Oh yeah, that boiled over.
And we'll start with the officiating because I think that played a role into it. Utica had two key challenges that Wilkins and Foster overturned. The first one, I think, was more cut and dry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Despite it being let's do the fan vote thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the set piece where I think it was Guevara set a screen. We've seen players use their bodies to screen or seal off or even box out guys. My understanding is they're going to treat it like you would in basketball. And the only reason I say my understanding is because the rule book literally doesn't say anything about screens.
Well, we know how the rule book is. We just figured out what handballs are.
Look, they finally defined a handball and got rid of it is a handball if it leads to a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
So my understanding is if it's going to be a pick like in basketball, the feet need to be immobile. And Guevara the Baltimore defender had great location.
Oh, yeah.
And he just shuffled
Mm-hmm.
a couple of inches, but it's enough to where that is movement.
Yep.
And on the announcement from Wilkins, stated that they overturned it because the Baltimore player dropped his shoulder into Juan.
Yep.
So it's not that just that, well, he was in the way. It's that he initiated the contact.
He was anticipating the hit and stood firm. Like, braced himself, basically.
Like, just logging up and taking the hit, and that
actively pushing back.
6-inch shuffle, just enough to make sure you're getting that block.
Yeah.
Like, he stands still. Juan's still not getting to that ball.
Nope.
That goal would stand.
Yep.
Yeah, live, didn't see it. Great challenge from Everton.
Yes, he's done well with those this year, honestly.
Second one that got overturned, I forget exactly what the call was on that. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember what the other one was.
I just remember got overturned. Comments of social media from Baltimore fans were very much it was us versus Utica and the refs, and we still won. And I only say that because I watched one guy literally copy and paste the same thing from the Baltimore one to the MASL one to MASL off the wall to in the box to indoor soccer. Like, okay, man, we get it. And I'm not going to sit here and defend the officials on this one. If you watch the show at all, I have a nickname for Foster.
Uh-huh.
Foster's ref for imaginary calls.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes. And sorry, I for some reason somehow muted myself. I was saying, in fairness, we also have the kind of people that, everything's the ref's fault. Like, it's not anything special to Baltimore games. Like,
no,
we have our own set of fans that do the same thing. Everything is the ref. So,
and two things can absolutely be true. The refs can be bad, and you still won.
100%. Oh yeah.
And I will say the refs were not great.
No. We did end up. I was very surprised at how much we had in our favor.
The big one I think that got missed was the Wilkins over shoulder tackle in the box.
Blows my mind.
They then spotted it top of the arc and called it a common foul.
Yeah.
That's where Baltimore should have thrown a challenge flag.
Yeah, I could not understand why they didn't. I really did not get that. That was the opportunity.
That probably a blue because it was not involved in the play. And obviously your goalkeeper is coming from behind, so you're taking away a goal scoring opportunity.
Oh yeah.
But it also happened in the box, so if they were going to stick with a common foul, it should have been a penalty kick in my understanding of the rules.
Agreed.
And then almost immediately after that, you have Wilkin go out to make a play. I think it was Chavez. Right at the edge of the box. It's a 50-50 ball. Doesn't matter if it's indoor or outdoor. As long as it's around the box, goalkeeper gets right of way because of the goalkeeper protection rules.
Correct. Yep. So
we've seen it plenty of times from goalkeepers around the league. As long as you're not going in, targeting the player and making the save as a side piece, it's fine. Was it an aggressive one? Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I think that was partially aggression from just the game in general, kind of coming out a little bit.
Yeah. Could I have seen that getting called a blue? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did ultimately get called, right? Or
yeah, he did get a blue. Yes.
He got a blue. And Chavez got a blue. And Chavez got a blue because he laid there and stuck his leg up and tripped Wilkin. as he was untangling himself. I'm surprised Wilkin also didn't get a yellow because he stood over Chavez after the trip and was taunting.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Like,
it was definitely clear taunting there.
that could have been worse.
Yeah.
I mean, Pereira was the first one into that scrum.
Yes. Yes,
As the
he
captain,
was.
fully understand defending your guy.
100%.
Silla's uncalled for. Just
Yeah. I mean,
there's no way to put it besides stupid.
I mean, rushing in, blindside, and just he levels him. I mean,
Back of the head.
yeah. I understand. Again, I understand frustrations were boiling over because you could see it. You could see it all weekend that these guys were pissed off at each other. And then, but that was just, I would not condone that, whether it was our guys, whether it was their guys, anybody. That's too much. That's too far. So it was absolutely deserving of what it got. Plus the extra.
I think the only thing that I would say about it is what I said in the chat before it was even announced, which is in a just and fairly run league where everyone's punishments are treated the same, I think he should have gotten a third game. One for the red, one for the fact that it was just the level of violence, and another because it was blindsided and he entered the frame. Like, it wasn't just a soccer play that was overly aggressive that led to a red card, like an extremely hard boarding or a bad tackle, like with Andreas a few years ago against Rafa.
Yeah.
It was like, that should have been a red. He went in. He was making a slide tackle, but the leg was up. We know that's a dangerous play. This was just pure, unadulterated, violent conduct.
Yeah.
And at 2 games, it's kind of just a little slap on the wrist. At 3, I think you send the appropriate message.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, that's just, I mean, that's the league. You know, it's going to be, it's not going to be, you know, as much as we think it's going to need, as much as we think it should have
unless your
been.
name's Derek Huffman or Stefan Mijatovic.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the light side. I mean, even the one where Pardo broke Willie Spur's leg a few years back. Whereas, like, that should be like a 6 game. I think they gave him like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, it's never going to be enough, per se.
Yeah, there's a point where, like I said, was it the NFL player slapped a fan or punched him in the face and only got 2 games? So, okay, well, that's an 1/8 of a season. 2 games is a 1/12 of a season here. You know what I mean? Just like, I'm trying to gauge where it would be in place of another league. Like, comparatively, what's worse? Like, interaction with a fan or you hit him in the face, is that on par with, you know, based on, you know, length of suspension compared to the season? The NFL saying that's worse than if you try to concuss a player on purpose from behind.
Yeah.
In an altercation that you aren't involved with. I like villains. They're great. You got to rein them in.
And that's what they weren't. That's what the refs were not doing in that game, was controlling. Was just controlling things. You know, controlling the teams, controlling the players, and ultimately it boiled over, and we got to see that. You know, again, both days really. I mean, they reined it in better the next day, but that night is kind of what sparked at times. But that night's what sparked the whole thing, because I mean, everybody was coming in angry the next day. Or at least not everybody, you know what I mean. A good chunk.
All right, let's pivot to the next day. It's Monday. Martin Luther King Day. Ava Wood penalty kick shootout. Somehow, Well, I'm not somehow. Because there were so many youth teams there, Utica's best attended game of the season.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. I didn't think there was going to be nearly that many at first, and then when the game actually started, I was like, wow, it's full in here.
Like, was it just that the Bills weren't playing? Because if that's the case, let's go back to the Bills being terrible. Because I would rather have soccer games full.
Yeah, no, I love seeing those games full. I mean, it makes the environment just that much better.
Mm-hmm. 4-2 win, low scoring, defensive, physical. First half was a little, I don't know how to put it, besides sloppy for both teams. Like, Utica controlled the ball more, but never really got great looks. Whereas Baltimore, like, it felt like a lot of boom ball was being played, even for indoor. There was a lot of kick it into the corner, hope somebody gets to it in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And then things settled a little more in the second half. Some adjustments were made.
Yeah, the second half is when you really, I mean, that was, for me, the second half is where, I mean, we really saw, like, our defense really just kind of lock things down. I mean, people, it was kind of like, okay, Baltimore came out very strong, very hot, basically trying to get that early lead, trying to get those early scores, and because, everybody's tired at that point. So, I felt like both teams were kind of, I mean, they were hot and heavy as soon as that whistle blew. And I mean, Baltimore had the high press, Utica had the high press. Baltimore really tried to run us for the first half, and Utica was able to keep up. And and then after that, things started to slow down, like you said, settle down, and that's when I mean, like, Utica's defense really stepped up in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, this was some of the best defense we've seen out of this team in the Everton era.
Yeah. I mean,
and talk about things getting heated. Bascom got hit for a yellow card.
Yep.
A handful of blues.
There could have been more yellows too. I mean,
there definitely could have been more yellows.
There was a lot of dissent from both sides. There was a lot of egging on. I mean, Gordy was doing some taunting of the bench, specifically when he got his goal, for instance. I mean, he was walking past the bench, basically saying, I'm assuming this is our house. Because, anytime you see somebody like pointing at the ground and stuff like that and doing, that kind of motion, it's like, this is our house, this is my house. And he was doing that straight to Pereira on the bench. And you could see it because Pereira was responding. So it's like there was it was beyond just ribbing or, just crap talking. This was like personal. At least that's what it seemed like. So yeah, it was, I mean, it makes for an entertaining game, don't get me wrong. It does. But yeah, no, frustration was definitely boiling over into this one.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get into our stats to tell the story for this one. Brandon, you got one?
Let's
go with it.
How about that Baltimore only had 10 shots total? They literally had... Actually, they had 10 shots, and only 7 of them made it anywhere near Brian. Which is just goes with what I was just talking about with the defense stepping up. I mean, the fact that for the entire game, them having 10 shots in total is, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time that I've seen any team in Utica, let alone Baltimore, held to less than 15, 20 shots. I mean, we didn't even have that many. We only had 19. Usually we have over 20 in most games. So, I mean, it just shows how much of a defensive game this was. We were cutting angles. We were blocking shots. We were, not much getting to Brian. Again, only 7 shots got to him compared to, I think it was 16 when I looked just like 2 minutes ago and then already forgot. 16 made it to Navarrete. So our defense, they really stepped up. And I don't know if it's just, mentality change. I don't know if, they're just doing something different in training. I don't know if it's the change in captainship. Don't get me wrong. I've ribbed on Juan for the captain thing. And for a while it's like, okay, we're not seeing anything, but it just makes me wonder if this has something to do with that. If one has something to do with the other. Now that we have a defensive captain who's right there on the field, if he's really starting to take charge in that and coach these guys on the field as things are going, because something changed. And that's the only thing I can lay my finger on is that, he's out there, he's starting to embrace that captain role. It's a possibility.
I think it was in A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. He said something like, wrote something like, some people are born great, some achieve greatness, others have greatness thrust upon them.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Like, Juan didn't come into this season as a captain. He, to our knowledge, obviously didn't volunteer to be the captain. Generally, your captains are voted on by players.
Yeah.
Or handed out from management. And with injuries, it kind of fell to him.
Yeah. And, it's... I said before that there was going to be an adjustment period, and then it was like, okay, well, things are really not going well. And so, of course, we're all looking at this like, what's going on here? And, we're starting to see some adjustments. So I want to see more. Mm-hmm. I'm always going to ask for more. They could win the Ron Newman Cup and I'd still be wanting more. Like, I know you guys can do better, and I'm gonna keep ribbing on you to do better because I know you got more. It's like, oh man, I can't remember this. I don't remember what movie it was. I've never watched the movie, but I've only watched this one scene. Basically, it's a high school football team, and the coach basically blindfolds this one guy who's talking smack, and he puts the equipment manager or something on his back, and he blindfolds him and basically makes him crawl on all fours down the field. Originally he was telling him he needed to go to the 20, and then he wouldn't unblindfold him. He said, just keep going, you're almost there, keep going, until he's all the way to the other end zone. I could not tell you what movie it is, but like I said, I'm always going to ask more from these guys. I'm always going to, because it's going to, I want to try and motivate them to do more. And so I'm always going to be asking more. Mm-hmm. Even if they're doing amazing, even if they're doing their best their career, it's like, but can you do more?
Yeah.
It's a motivational tool. Just like a brown paper bag.
As my stat that tells the story.
Yes, sorry. I went off track.
There were 7 cards handed out in this game.
Yeah.
Which I think speaks to the fact that I think the rivalry is back.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, there were a couple years with turnover between both teams. Yeah, you saw them 6 times, but it was not there. It was not I want to beat these guys more than anyone else, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Kind of. And I don't know what led to it, but we had Pereira jawing on the turf to Genrich after the game.
Yep.
And it very much took me back to that first playoff series loss where Dos Santos got into it with Bo
right at the
end of it.
You don't do that.
It was like, oh, yes, I love sports rivalries are at their best when both teams are good or about the same level, and the players, as much as they can respect each other and be friends or friendly off the turf, they just don't like each other during the games. And if that's back, I'm
here
I'm
for
excited
it.
to see what happens in the next two games between these two.
I mean, we split the series with them. No,
We did. We did. We split.
yeah, we split the full series.
They have a 1-point lead on us because regulation versus overtime.
I'm just talking wins losses. I understand they have more points because yes, but just the fact that we've split the series thus far with them, whereas I think last year it was like, I think we took 2 from them over the course of the 6 games. So, I mean, that right there, the fact that it's literally every other. They won the first, we won the second, they won the third, we won the fourth. Doesn't matter which location, we're winning and losing in both, both at home and, well, at our home and at their home. Like, it's a good rivalry this year, and we're seeing good, strong, hard games with this team, and they make for great entertainment for the fans.
Yeah, when Syracuse first moved down the road to Utica, those first couple of seasons, it was, back and forth, 3-3. Each team would take one at the other's home turf, so you're going 2-1 at home, 1-2 on the road. And then things kind of shifted Utica's way for a couple of years. We were going like 4-2 and 4-2. It was like, Baltimore's in trouble. And then last year, Baltimore just flipped the script and stomped Utica, taking 5 out of 6 games.
Yeah, no, they weren't messing around.
So to be back competitive, and it's something that's been missing from the Utica seasons over the past few years. Sports need villains. Well, Baltimore is a villain team to the Utica fan base.
Yes, they always have been. It's just, and
you love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually going back. I'm trying to take a look at that comment right now. I'm gonna watch I'm gonna have the first little bit of the game going. I want to see if I can catch that while we're chatting.
Yeah. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was a tone-setting foul. If that was.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go back.
I found it. I found it. Holy crap!
Something that set the tone.
Yeah, Kyle comes right in and butt bumps him and takes him right off his. I mean, maybe a little bit exaggerated, but takes him right off his feet. Holy smokes! So yeah, no, that absolutely, I can 100% see why Pereira would have been kind of peeved after that. I mean, he got a call. Don't get me wrong, he got a call, but whew. Sorry.
Yeah, because Pereira's never tackled anybody hard in this league.
I know, but you get my point.
Like that was a young guy.
Yeah, definitely. That adds salt to the wound a little bit. I sent you basically kind of the
clip.
It's sort of the clip, but it's basically just as it's about to happen is where I saved it. So he takes him right off his feet, right in front of the goal, or their goal. So that I can definitely see that setting the tone.
I want to watch that on loop.
Like I said, I get why he's pissed off now.
There was a little elbow there. Yeah,
Oh, man. Of course, Kyle got it back later because he got a nice elbow to the face, too.
Look, Genrich impressed me yesterday just in his overall play. And if he's going to be the guy that's going to go out there and play that hard note. Who was my favorite player when the team first came?
I don't remember.
It was a two-way midfielder. Very physical. Number 44.
Oh.
Hitman Callahan.
Yeah. Yep.
We love Rafa when he was here for his scrappiness.
I was just going to say Kyle's the new Rafa.
Genrich is what, like 22 or 23? If he's already going out there with the attitude that I am going to set the tone for this game and I'm going to set it early, that is something that, one, I love as a fan, and two, I think this team has lacked for a couple years. Like, I want that hard edge, that player that's not afraid to get scrappy.
Yep.
And, you know, if they're getting pushed around one day, the next chance they go, they're going to say, hey, I'm getting back. It doesn't work great in sports, but somewhere along my life, I picked up the saying, don't get even, get ahead. Okay. And I think that attitude works great.
Yeah. Also, he's 23. He'll be turning.
Yeah, he's like fresh out of college or still in college.
He'll be turning 24 in June. So after the season. So yeah, he's 23 and 5'8" according to the bio, 145 pounds. I mean, he's a small guy, but boy.
I was gonna say Pereira's got to be what, like 5? He's got to be pushing 6 foot and close to 190. He's a well-built player, not overweight, but like physically fit.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a he's according to his bio, he is same height, 5'8", 180 pounds. So he's got, if based on the bio, he's got like 30 pounds on Gingrich.
Maybe he just looks taller because of his muscle mass.
Because I mean he's got a good build, no question. Yeah. So
he's a guy that you can tell hits the gym and works on. He doesn't skip arm day. He doesn't skip leg day.
No, the biggest difference between the two of them, besides the we'll call it the weight class, is age. I mean, Pereira has 11 years on him because they were both born in June, surprisingly. But Pereira's he was born in 91. So he's 33, and Gingrich was 2002, or I'm sorry, Pereira would be 34, and Gingrich is 23, so he's literally much older.
Yeah,
I might have had those numbers wrong.
Pereira's been a part of this team forever. He remembers. Think about it. When we first started watching the team, he was that young guy.
Yeah.
He's 25, 26. Excuse me. He'd been in the league a couple years at that point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken over the captain band in Baltimore.
And he deserves it. I mean, he
respect him as a player, but he's been here so long. It's him and Melo that I want to heckle because Dos Santos is gone.
Yeah, I know. Dos Santos was your target back in the day.
Yeah. I couldn't think of really any good ones yesterday. All I had for Melo was like, are you cosplaying as Jose Altuve or does he cosplay as you? And I don't know if he's a baseball fan, so.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Both of them are great people, great players. Because, I mean, when they were at the All-Star game, they were a couple of the first ones I know that Huber talked to. They were first couple that I ended up running into, and they were super nice people. Like, off the field, they're great. But, on the field, they're scary. I wouldn't want to mess with them.
Yeah, just skills alone and Pereira attitude-wise.
Yes. But no, I mean, I was watching just real quick because you brought it up with Pereira just kind of having that commanding commanding presence and, you know, being the captain and stuff. I mean, those two, when they were doing warm-ups, like, those two run the house. You know, Pereira and Mello, they were on top of that. It was very regimented. They were in charge. And I just thought that was, you know, I thought that was, you know, you know, kind of nice to see. And, you know, it just shows their veteran presence, their leadership presence. So, and I still think we need a little bit more on that on our team, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Righty. Play that changed the game. Brandon, I guess I'll take this one first since you went first on the last game. And I got to check the timing on this, but yeah, that happened right at the end of the third quarter. I'm going to say ultimately it was the picture that I sent in the group chat today, which looks like a fairly clear boarding call that didn't get called. Like, they didn't even call a foul on it. Juan put a Baltimore player right into the boards. From the picture, doesn't look like he made any contact, and it's from up in the rafters, so it is a very good view. The only thing that was brought up from our chat was potentially it didn't get called because Julian was opening the door. So, like, did that slight couple of inches make it look worse than it was? But, like, that was one where we just heard the contact, and the ball never moved, and it was like, oh, that's a blue card. That is 100% a blue card.
Yeah.
Whistle didn't blow. A couple seconds go by. The ball goes down back to the other end. Comes back quick this way. Utica's on a break. And I forget who it was, but they just got leveled in the middle of the field. And there was a no call. It's like, oh, yeah, that was a no call for a no call.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
And I think that 20-second span is where the refs started to lose control of things. Because as soon as the tit for tat happened, an already tense situation started to flare up. Yeah, after that is when you saw the... Did Gordy's goal come before that?
Well, you also got to take into account Gordy's charge. Because Gordy's charge was about basically just about 3 minutes before his goal. So I'm trying to remember...
His charge was at the 7... His goal was at the 9:50. Yeah. I want to say that takedown happened within like a minute, like in between those two.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look.
Or just before the boarding, but it was definitely in the third quarter.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, it's where things started to get out of control. Then you saw the elbow at the end of the quarter. That's another one where it looked like Genrich probably initiated contact on that. But the follow through and that elbow, as high as it was, warranted a blue card. You made contact with the face. You were clearly trying to throw him off of you. You know, you hate the yellow card for coming off the bench. Just stay put, guys. Don't take yourself out of the game for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we don't need that. We really don't need that.
Even if they try to give it to the wrong player.
No, it was that was actually mine. Play that changed the game was I was going between basically the Gordy goal where he really started to hype up just everyone in the place. And between that and the Genrich penalty, the elbow, those two really energized the fans, which, of course, when we're energized, we help to energize the team. I mean, they had already gone up 3-2 at that point, but I think that's what kind of helped push us to getting that fourth, as well as preventing the tying goal. So, so yeah, that was mine. So pretty in tandem with that one. We're pretty close.
Yeah. Only other thing I want to touch on really on this game is the last blue card there, the boarding.
Yeah.
That
we got
there
challenged.
was less contact on, like, if Ryan Hall was still here and Tim Goldman or Salas was still here, the self-propelled line wrote itself.
Yeah, it did.
But there's basically nobody left from that era to get the reference.
Logan.
Yeah, but where was he? He's around somewhere, but we never saw him.
Just in 72. After
the
fact.
I mean? Like,
I know. Yeah, there's not too many that would get that reference, but
my guy,
that was a fun one.
Ran into the boards with like less contact than I've had in a game of tag as a kid.
Yeah, I can't say that there was a lot of contact there, but and I mean, the fans are screaming down there that like it was not a card or anything like that. And I mean, they reviewed it and it was very clear that like he caught himself with his hand, with his arms, and then let himself kind of go forward and hit the boards.
Like I said, it looked like me trying to stop on ice skates.
Yeah.
I can get up to speed. I can't do that quick stop like hockey players or ice skaters can. I just hit the board as fast as I'm going, and that's my breaks.
Yep.
Other than that, they tried to keep things under control to the best. Wasn't as bad as it could have been. Again, consistency, I think could have been helped a little bit. Just a little bit better. There were some where it's like, okay, they're letting them play, but it's starting to elevate. Let's crack down it. Like I said, the back and forth there that really let things escalate. Kudos to Sergio Pinal, 2 goals in this. 1 on the power play, 1 on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
Utica's second shorthanded goal of the year. That's why he got the mention in the title with the great candy pun. I hope you saw it.
I did. I caught it.
All right, let's move ahead here. Talked about the shenanigans. We've covered both games. It is time for what needs to change moving forwards. Brandon.
Well, here's where I would normally harp on the defense. But as we saw, they had a good weekend. We had stumbles in the first half of the Baltimore game in Baltimore. But then the second half and then a good chunk of this game, the second game, we did fairly well. So I can't use that one. That one's actually my positive takeaway from the weekend. But I think the biggest problem that we've got right now is making opportunities. Like, we don't have a good distribution setup right now. And I think that's really what's hurting us. It was nice to have Amadi back because I felt like he was sorely missed. And when he was on the field, he was another menace that definitely helped us out, I think. And I don't think he played Sunday. I'd have to look, but I don't think he did.
He did not play
So
Sunday.
he was a fresh set of legs, which was good. But I think that's our biggest problem right now is I don't know. I don't feel like. I feel like we're just kind of trying like the standard stuff to get to the goal, and that's where I think we're struggling right now. Is it's not now that we've got. It seems that we have a fairly solid hold on our defense. now we need to start figuring out how to make opportunities happen, and we're struggling on that. You know, I know one thing that gets harped on a lot from fans is it feels like we don't go for those quick counters anymore. It's like they get going and then they just stop and turn around and slow things down. And I feel like we are a team that benefits heavily from just go. You know, just put the gas, or, you know, foot on the gas. If you got a breakaway, take it and just take the shot. But instead, they always pull back and settle it down, which I get it. I'm all for it. But sometimes you just got to go for it. And I feel like we don't do that enough. So opportunities and just pedal to the metal. Just send it.
Yeah, the Manny Silva goal, I think, was a welcome sign. I'm trying to pull up his stats from last year real quick. Yeah, he played 11 games last year. He had 9 goals and 4 assists. And he's only got 2 goals and 1 assist through 8 games this year.
Okay.
And if I remember, a couple of those came in like a flurry of games where, yeah, he'd get like, yeah, he had a hat trick at Baltimore or against Baltimore, then kind of 1 goal, 2 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal. Then he went cold for a little bit to finish the year.
Yep.
He had one of the goals in the playoff game against Baltimore. But there were, you know, there's that stretch where he kind of found himself, and on the breakaway, ripping it from outside the arc is a great way to find a couple extra goals a game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're in the middle of the field and you can pick your post. Make the goalkeeper guess.
Right.
On that one, there were already, I want to say it was Gordy in one corner, and I forget who the other forward was, but they were already up there because it was a quick takeaway on a clearance. So you had Baltimore pushing up. They had a couple guys back on defense to cover the 2 trailing forwards.
Mm-hmm.
But they were doing enough that neither one of those defenders could really step up too much, or they left somebody open. They would leave somebody wide open behind them.
Right.
So because of the spacing, it created a huge chunk of, yeah, if it was empty turf where
Yes.
Benny could take the ball and pick his spot. If we see more of that, this offense will get better.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
The question is if we will see more of that.
And that's always the big question is, you know, yes, we want to see, you know, we want to see certain things, and we want to see, you know, the offense perform what we're talking about. But the problem is that's the big what if is, are we going to be able to see it?
Yeah. You know, like that's what I'm going to say is coming out of this, again, we have to work on consistency. For 6 out of the 8 quarters, there was great defense.
Yep.
You lost that first game, though, because of 2 very shaky, poor performances.
Unfortunately.
There were a couple of bad set pieces. The couple of goals I think Xavier wanted back. And I say that because when he was talking to us yesterday, he referred to his 3 F-ups, and one of them was coming out and getting injured. So, like, there's 2 goals in his mind the next day where he's like, I want those back.
Yep.
But a few of them were just getting outmatched. Give and goes. Boom, 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 boom. Baltimore was moving the ball, and defenders just looked lost at times.
Mm-hmm.
And as we said, if those 2 calls didn't get overturned, things are even worse.
Yeah, it was a much worse game for us, for sure.
So we just have to keep that intensity that came once they got down and things started getting scrappy. You have to find a way to have that level of drive within yourselves at all times.
I was like, without the deficit.
Not just without the deficit, without things getting scrappy. Like, you need to go into the game and have that level of aggression.
Yeah. Ruthless aggression. Sorry, John Cena.
Yeah. Positive takeaway.
Already said it.
Look, the 3 points are huge. Yes, it's early. But just like you can't dig yourself too big of a hole in any game, you can't dig yourself too big of a hole in standings. And coming into this weekend, Utica was bottom of the table. They are still bottom of the table.
Yep.
Their negative 12 goal differential is the second worst in the league. But they've also played the fewest amount of games.
Yes. I did notice that.
And by taking back those 3 points against Baltimore this weekend, they have kept pace with Baltimore and St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are tied at 14 points. Baltimore is ahead, I believe, based on regulation wins. Based on regulation wins. Utica has 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
If they go into Tacoma, and this is going to be a tall task, take 6 points, they would be tied with St. Louis and Baltimore pending outcomes of their games over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, yes, things don't look great early, but it's not hopeless yet.
No, it's still only a third of the season has gone by versus like KC, for instance, who has had half of their season go by because they are already 13 games in, for instance. So, I mean, we are way behind as far as games played.
Yeah, the standings are great, but they don't tell the whole story because of the difference in games played.
Correct.
You're better off at looking like at points per game, where if you go by that, Utica would be ahead of Empire. Yes, we have 8 games, or 8 points each, but we've played 1 less game than them. So we've managed 1 point per game. They've managed less than a point per game.
Right. Yeah, and they actually break the tiebreaker with regulation wins. So that's the only reason that they're a point ahead of, or they're still above us in the standings at the moment.
Yes.
So.
As Sean pointed out in the chat, Tacoma also at 14 points. One of the teams that we expected at the bottom of the league is. Yeah, I didn't even look that high up the table because I didn't dare think looking that high. I knew Tacoma had been good. I didn't realize that none of their losses have come in overtime.
No.
To salvage a couple points.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, again, that is a team that I sort of counted out this season. Mm-hmm. Just given kind of their rebuild structure. I mean, you know, we've talked about it before. There's just not there's some people of note on there, but not as much as we've seen in past years. You know, they had like Moy, they had Steph, they had Toth. Like we don't have a lot of those big names, but they do still have stars, no pun intended, on their team. But
they Juice Cox. I guess I'll hold this. We'll get into this when we do our preview because we still need to do our positive takeaway from this weekend.
No, you don't. I already told you.
Okay.
I already told you the defense. I told you the defense was stepping it up. I mean, that was the fact that I don't have to complain about the defense this podcast is that's a big positive for me. I mean, they stepped up, and I was very, very pleased to see what they were able to accomplish in these two games. I mean, again, yes, they had a bad first game for the first half of the first game, but they came back and they really locked it down in the second half, and they played a good game in the home game. So yeah, that was absolutely my positive takeaway, is just good job to the defense. Like, you guys really did a great job.
Yeah, all right, so we'll turn to this. Utica has 2 games this weekend up in Tacoma, out in the Pacific Northwest. Home of what was once one of my favorite sitcoms before True TV canceled it. Broken Lizards, Tacoma FD.
Oh.
Which, if you're familiar with Super Troopers,
Yep.
Farva's the chief. I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Steve Lemmy is his real name, is the captain, and it's just a work sitcom around being firefighters.
I was gonna say, it just reminded me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, very much so. But just firefighters instead of cops.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I just finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine a couple months ago, and so that was one that it was one of those. I'm meaning to go back to this and try it out, but I haven't done that.
Oh, it's fantastic. I wish it hadn't been canceled when it did, even if it just got one more season. But that's, True TV is a tough place for anything, really.
Agreed. Cable these days is just a tough place in general.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, let's talk about these games this weekend. They are going to be late games for those of us on the East Coast. Not as late as they could be, thankfully.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
it could be worse.
Saturday night is the nightcap. Utica and Tacoma will kick off at 9:05 East Coast time. That game's going to run till about 11 p.m. But hey, you get to sleep in on Sunday, hopefully, unless you're me. Brunch.
Yeah. I don't get to.
Yeah, I will be up and out the door just about the time the sun is coming up.
Yeah, I think
a little after that.
Depending on if there's any changes, I'll be about the same, because I'll be leaving. I gotta do something work-wise about 8 o'clock out in Syracuse. So,
oh boy,
yeah, at 8.
Sunday's game 8:05, a little bit earlier. So hopefully everyone can catch it before they have to get up on Monday morning. Unless you're me and your Mondays or your Saturdays.
Yeah, no such luck for me.
All right, so 2 games to preview. We'll talk a quick little bit about our predictions from last week. Brandon, it was a close week. In total, 3-2, slightly in my favor.
That's it?
Or in your favor, I think. No, that's mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was definitely be in your favor.
The loss, but we had the same goal differential.
Yep.
On that one, and then you had Baltimore's points on that.
Yeah.
And you had Utica's. Yeah, whatever. Did I type that wrong?
I was gonna say, I thought when you were talking about it that I was closest to Utica's total from the game.
No, you had 12-7. Yes, you predicted.
I had 7-5 on Sunday.
7-5. It was 12-7. I'm reading I've got the markers all the way off to the side, so I can't read them anymore. So you predicted Utica's points.
Yes.
But I had the loss.
Yes.
And I had Baltimore's points.
Yeah.
And
we had the same goal
Monday,
differential.
Yes. On Monday, I got the goal differential. Neither one of us predicted the win.
Nope.
And you got the
Utica's
or
points again.
yeah, Utica points exactly.
Apparently, I'm good at predicting what points that Utica's gonna get, but I'm bad at everything else. Because that's 2 for 2.
Oh, I should have had Baltimore's points on that one, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I had 5 and you had 8, so that's 2 for me. So technically, it was a 4-2 weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say
This is why we talked through this. I was chalking up the points last night while we were at 72, not really fully paying attention.
I mean, it's a proprietary point system,
All
like
right,
the league.
All right, let's talk these games.
Okay.
Back-to-back games. Tacoma, like we mentioned, not many household names. Juice Cox is probably the most noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
1.5 points a game. Michael Ramos behind him at 0.8. So Juice Cox is the only one averaging more than a point a game. But Luis Pireta in goal has been a revelation for them.
Yes.
His 5.06 goals allowed against lead the league. He's got a 6.96 save percentage. And yet somehow they are negative 17 on goal differential. Danny Waltman started a couple games for them. I think one of them was the San Diego game where they got blanked.
Yeah, you don't ever want to see that.
But Beretta is the starting goalkeeper. Waltman is the veteran backup. They are a defense-first team. They just lost their first game at home. It came by 1 point. And that came with like 5.46, I think, to play. And then it stayed at 7-6. Like that goal came, and neither team scored after that. I would expect something closer to what we saw yesterday, at least in the first game, than what we saw on Sunday.
I would think so too.
Can score at home. They have 8 in one, 7 in another, 6 in their last game. But like we said, they've been shut out in one. They've scored 3 in a couple of wins. As much as they are capable of getting into that 6 or 7 goal range, they are much more likely to try to keep things low scoring, park the bus defensively, and take advantage of mistakes.
You really went there.
I did it. Didn't even realize I did it.
Mm-hmm. I can't escape it.
I'm going to be optimistic and take a split this weekend.
Well, that's good, because that's been my thought as well, is I think we're going to split it. I'd love to sweep it, but I think we're going to split it.
I'm going to say 5-4 in the first game to Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
Utica is a bit younger. I think they're going to have the fresher legs in the second game. And they'll have had a little bit more time to adjust to West Coast hours. I will give Utica the 6-4 win in the second game.
So I'm actually very much of the same mindset, because, I mean, you said it, and, you know, Huber said it in the chat as well about jet lag. It sounds like most of the team's going to be going out Friday, based on kind of just listening into conversations in 72. And so it seems like we're going to be flying out on Friday, but that's going to cause a lot of jet lag, trying to adjust to that schedule. So I don't think we're going to be over that on Saturday. And so I'm close. and I'm only changing my score slightly because I want to have a different goal differential, just for argument's sake. And I'm actually going to be saying 6-4 Tacoma. So I'm still going with the 4. I'm still going with the 4, but I think 6. I always go for, because I get the feeling it'll be 5-4, and then we'll give up a 6 attacker goal, a 6 attacker shorthanded, if you know what I mean. Second game though, I do 100% agree. I think once we've had more adjustment time, and with some of these younger guys, especially if we kind of do what we did this weekend, and maybe, I don't know, maybe sit a couple of our younger guys so that they're nice and fresh on Sunday. If we do those type of things and we come out on Sunday, I think we're going to come out with a vengeance. And I'm actually thinking, I actually want to go 8-5. I think I'll go 8-5. 3-point spread.
Alrighty.
So.
Alrighty. So we both have them losing Saturday, winning on Sunday.
Yep.
A little bit wider goal gap on yours. Obviously gives you the favorite on the first one, definitely.
I always got to try and pick a different goal differential than you, just because, unless it's really like, okay, I'm adamant about this score. And yeah. I mean, I'm always of the mindset of, if we are down, it is very possible that we're going to potentially go down another one towards the end, just because of 6 attacker and our issues that we've always had with it in the past. I mean, even this past weekend, we still gave up, or I'm sorry, in Baltimore, we still gave up more than we got. So that's always my opinion of it, is we're going to end up being negative because of 6 attacker.
Oh, that's going to be a rough game. I'm just looking ahead on the schedule because Jack pointed out in the chat, Utica has some tough trouble with travel here. They get this one out in Tacoma, and then they come home for a game. Then they go back out to California for 2 games. I'm glad to see Empire being the first game. I would rather have them first before San Diego.
Especially,
I feel like it's the more winnable of the game. And that's for a conversation in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Those are late, too. Oof.
So we just played back-to-back games this week. We're playing back-to-back games this coming week. Then we have a 1-game week. Then we have a 2-game week again after that. So that's 7 games in a 4-game stretch. That is a heavy schedule.
I mean, we had a light schedule to begin with, so we had to make it up somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to catch up on total games played pretty quickly here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just now clicked in my head that Utica's got a game on Super Bowl Sunday.
Great.
Which had been something that had been, Super Bowl Sunday and then President's Day Monday. Back-to-back on that. Oh my God, then back-to-back the week after that. Whew.
It's going to be a tough stretch.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, having that bye week as early as they did is rough.
That's just, that's how the chips lie.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. As we say our goodbyes here, Chad, what do we think of the background? Broke out the flag. I figured it's better than having just the empty hallway behind me.
It's terrible.
I liked the frogs better.
I'll take that over the frogs.
I agree with that.
Oh, Super Bowl Sunday's the 8th. So.
Oh, Super Bowl's the 15th, isn't it? Because next year we have the Super Bowl on.
I was kind of questioning that too, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Why did I think the Super Bowl was on the 15th?
I don't know, because I'm like, when Jack said that, they leave it open. It's like, that would make sense, because there's the viewership and the attendance is going to be so low down in the dumps.
So I saw a post a few weeks back that hit me, and I was like, oh, that's gonna, just because of my industry. It's for next year's Super Bowl, falls on Valentine's Day in 2027.
Oh,
And I was just like, oh, that's gonna, oh.
well, people
Are we
better
gonna be
make
dead
some.
because it's the Super Bowl? Are we gonna be killed because it's Valentine's Day? What is going to happen?
I get the feeling plenty of people are going to make alternative plans for Valentine's Day that year. I would hope so.
That's the one that threw me. Yeah, so having the 14th in my head for next year because of someone pointing it out online and it going through my feeds. Had it in my head that, like, oh, if it's on the 14th, it's going to be on the 15th this year then. But no. Okay,
Not
so it's on
quite
the 15th.
there.
Good. That's better. Just for me personally, for work at least. All right. That is everything from us then. We've covered everything from the shenanigans and the celebrations and the sorrows to the upcoming games in Tacoma.
Yeah.
Hopefully we take some of the scrappiness that we saw in this last one and can carry it out west.
That would be nice. I mean, again, this weekend was a mixed bag of good and bad, But, yeah, I think overall I like what I see. And, it's leaving me optimistic. So we'll see what happens as we continue to watch this team.
Yeah, you would love a split. I mean, you'd really love to take 4 or 5 or 6 points out of this weekend. You'd be happy with a split if you can get out of there with 3. But if things go wrong and you come out of there with 0 points, so the positivity that we have coming out of this weekend is going to be basically taken out back behind the chemical shed and shot. And yes, there was a V for Vendetta reference for those that got it.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's just I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah. That part came from when Natalie Portman thought she was being imprisoned by the government, but it was V pretending to be them.
Mm-hmm.
And gets to the point where it's like, just tell them what they want and they'll let you live. And she says, I would rather die. There's, before that's like, all right, take her out back behind the chemical shed and shoot her. Or no, that was before that. Because at that point, it's where he says that you have nothing to fear, you're free to go.
Mm-hmm.
Artists use lies to tell the truth. Politicians use lies to cover it up. Oh, what a great movie.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it back in the day.
All right. Hit that subscribe button, the little bell thing. I'll turn on notifications so you never miss our live. Next week, we'll be back to Monday, at least until the President's Day game on the 16th, which will push us back to a Tuesday. But we should be back to Mondays for the rest of the season, barring something coming up.
Yep. Back on the old schedule.
Instagram, Facebook, or where I post the most, sometimes on Threads. Twitter just exists because it's better at giving me notifications from the league and Utica.
It's fair. Yeah, I think that's about all we got.
Yeah, until next time. Brandon, I think you had a thing you wanted to try to push and see if it worked.
Let there be.
Dogs.
I heard it that time.
Okay, good.
It was very faint, but I heard it.
All right. I don't know why it's faint for you, but it's loud for me.
All right.
All right. Well,
Late night games. Fight us at the Discord if you want to do a live chat. And go Utica.
and also more songs.
Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing. Go Utica City.